So, DA, this is cerebral. Is it cerebral palsy or cerebral palsy? I've heard it pronounced both
Is
ways.
this how you introduced your guests? Allow me.
No,
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men, women, children of all ages, even though children shouldn't be watching this show at points. I am the belt taker, the history maker, king of all I see, the main effing man for a God blessed reason. I am D.A. Morris.
see, I don't do well with introductions typically because then I lose whatever thoughts I had. But I absolutely love your introductions. We will be adding a intro eventually. I had one, but I kept getting hit with copyright, even though the song I used claimed that it was free use.
Yeah,
So,
I've had problems like that too. When I would do YouTube videos and stuff, it's like, man, this video is really good. Limited. Why is it limited? Oh, it's because, yeah, you're right. So it really
well, I
sucks when
didn't.
you work really hard on something and then you're like, man, it can't get out there like I want it to.
Well, it's kind of my fault because I didn't read the fine print. It says free use, but you have to pay in order to monetize it. Like you can use it, they're not going to take your video down, but you can't profit off your own content even if you use like so many seconds of the song, which was stupid.
A lot of
But
it
it
is.
is what it is.
I miss the good old days when YouTube was a wild, wild wasteland of anybody can use any kind of music they want. Screw it.
Well, I'm going to do a little bit of a plug here because there is an alternative to YouTube that I am on right now. It is called Odyssey. So far, they don't have that issue. Because it's crowd funded pretty much. However, where I get confused is they pay in crypto.
Yeah, not everybody know how to do that.
Oh, I
Excuse.
have no idea.
You can see in the background, I got new boots.
I where at?
But right behind me back here. Hold up.
Because your screen's kind of. Let me see if I can get it. Change the
Yeah,
layout, maybe. Here we go. This might help.
got me some new.
Dude, I love that. It goes with your yellow color scheme.
That was the idea.
Was that inspired by like Hulk Hogan or Ric Flair? Because
No,
they would have worn
no,
yellow.
no, 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 no. I don't. My pants were up by the way when I stood up.
You're good.
No, it's not yellow. For first off, it's gold. Okay, it's gold. It is not yellow.
What I'm gonna play the devil's advocate. What's the difference?
The difference is I'm the main effing man, and all I ever wear is gold. Nobody ever calling me yellow.
So the main effing man has a little bit of something he wanted to talk about today, because you are an amazing wrestler, even though you have cerebral palsy.
I wouldn't call myself amazing, but thank you.
Hey, you gotta keep kayfabe alive. Quit that shit. But how I know you started off as a manager,
Yeah.
but what made you decide, "Hey, I'm gonna hop in the ring, get thrown around by some big guys, and say to hell with this cerebral palsy shit. I'm just gonna do whatever I
Uh,
want."
so there's a lot that goes into this story because um, growing up, me and my brother wanted to be pro wrestlers. It's all we ever wanted to do. Literally, like we thought it was the coolest thing in the world, and we thought, man, that would just be the best thing in the world to make a living doing. Against many, many people's advice, we pursued those dreams. And when I began my training, because of my cerebral palsy, the people who were training me believed that I would struggle to pick up basics and struggle on getting up and down and just a lot of the very minute details of professional wrestling that I would struggle with due to the condition. Um,
Mhm.
so they pulled me aside one day, and after I had been there for a few months, and they're like, "Listen, you're not picking up quite as quick as we'd like you to. You can either be done and no shame, you gave it, the good old call it try, or we could make you a manager." And I always felt like, well, being part of something is better than not being involved. So I agree, and they trained me in managing. Now that didn't mean I stopped trying to like get down the stuff I was struggling with. I was still going, you know what I mean? When I could find ring time or whatever, I did go over my bumps. I know all my safety precautions, I'll call them. when it comes to performing in a wrestling ring. Um, and then just my first I ever had, if you want to call it that, was against a Doink the Clown. Not the Doink,
Just
a
one
Doink.
of them.
It was a Doink, not the Doink the Clown. I don't think this Doink was ever on TV, but this it was Doink the Clown, the marquee red Doink the Clown. Uh, so, um, not a good match. Again, I had very little in-ring time at that point, and the guy who was doing the deal was very limited himself in what he could do because of his own health problems. And uh, we went into a deal. I thought I was supposed to do it, and he's just like, "Nope, forcing you." There's the 1, 2, 3, the whole thing that and again, it was a little fair show. We weren't taking anything super serious, obviously. But I can say my first ever professional wrestling match where I had to put on boots and singlet and full gear up was against Doink the Clown.
Not the, but a. One of the I'm surprised Doink never wrestled for JCW. A random thought.
There were Doink the Clowns that worked in JCW. I don't
Oh,
know if
I
there
did.
was
I was not
again, that's
aware.
their back catalog stuff. They've been going for like 25 years. So they got a lot of
So let's get back to you though, because I always found you quite a fascinating human being, and I'm honored to call you my friend
oh, thank you, bro.
because I always wanted to be a wrestler. Well, not always, not when as I got older, because I
Yeah,
realized
I've seen
I'm
your
not.
splash, brother.
No, I used to be better than that. I just didn't want to hurt the guy. Just kidding. No, I wanted to be a wrestler when I was younger, and I did backyard wrestling and stuff. But as I
For shame.
realized
I
I wasn't re I wasn't I wasn't, professional by any means, so I, hurt my back and never tried it again. But you, man, you're out there doing it even though you should technically be physically limited in that field, and you probably should be a manager at this point, but you
I
fight
did it
beyond that.
backwards. I did it backwards. Most guys start wrestling and then end up as a manager or referee or whatever. I was so here's the beautiful thing. So you asked me why I did the gold thing and stuff like that. One of the first real times where I was being used consistently threw me under a gold mask, and I'm not going to say the name, but the people who know because you never know that person might show up again. No, it's not gold dust, but very gold dust like I'll say in ways, but the gold is kind of a callback to that. If you know, you know. Yeah, again, the test for all of my brothers in the locker room. If you know where the gold.
I just I don't know why my brain automatically went to Gold Dust. I just imagined you in the Gold Dust face paint
Well,
with
name me one other wrestler who's like anonymous with gold like that.
none.
Title belt, sure, but I'm saying like the gold color, gold face paint. It would be hard to find a professional wrestler like that's their color.
Yeah, there's very few wrestlers that you equate color like certain colors to. Like Hulk Hogan, you kind of can, the yellow, the orange, the tie-dye,
You mean red?
but but you can also
Wait, wait,
equate that.
wait. When it comes on, when you're talking about red and yellow, the orange was the skin.
Yeah, that was a skin color too. But no, but with Hulk though, people would equate tie-dye, but personally as a wrestling fan, I'd equate that with Billy Graham.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
but I don't know if there's any other wrestler that I would equate a color to besides gold with Gold Dust, because wrestlers always change their ring attire and their
Well, yeah,
color schemes.
everybody likes to keep it fresh. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So back to the career you have though, you remind me very much like discussing the starting off as a manager, becoming a wrestler. I only know that of happening, I think, twice. And the most prevalent one is Diamond Dallas Page.
No, the most prevalent one is me, but I understand what you're
The most popular one. Let me reword. I'm
No,
sorry.
but
I love you, bro.
he was an inspiration definitely, and I do do DDT yoga to help with some of the issues I have with cerebral palsy. Um, for those unaware, what cerebral palsy is,
That was my
ce-
next question.
cerebral palsy is a condition caused from brain damage at birth.
I didn't know that.
When I was born, I was not living. I was deceased. And they brought me back. But the time it took them to bring me back, they said any longer I would have been full on wheelchair bound, unable to move, under my own power, struggle, the whole span of issues that come with that condition. And for some reason, the good Lord made it so that way I'm not like that. I don't know why, but I feel like if I can inspire through what I do, like people can look at me and go, well, he has cerebral palsy and he chased his dreams and he's doing what he wants to do. I'm hoping I can get just one person to be like, well, then I can definitely chase my dreams and do what I want to do.
And that's very inspiring because I didn't realize you may have mentioned it in the past. I apologize if my memory
That's all right.
doesn't serve me well, but I don't remember you ever telling me that you were born unalive. And that's actually
Yeah,
quite interesting because art is imitating reality because you were born fighting and now you're living fighting.
yeah, you can say you can look at it that way.
Yeah, like you were born to do this in a way. You've been winning ever since birth.
Um,
Like it, s-
that that's
so have you
funny to say. Like,
who was your favorite opponent? Was it the Doink or a
okay,
Doink or
so to say who my favorite opponent is, it's very difficult because I've worked with so many great people, and I don't want to undermine the ability and the skill that these people have that I've competed against. Um, but if I had to put obviously the first time I won the MVP Master Championship against Brother Lion, I believe. Yeah, it was Brother Lion I beat for my first ever MVP Master Championship. That was real special, obviously, because it's the company going, here's the top prize. We're gonna see what you can do with it. So that meant a lot to me, especially getting to do it twice. And of course, I had a really good series of matches with a gentleman by the name of Uggy the Caveman. Me and him had quite a blood feud going on. Of course, we can't forget about that dreaded Canadian. You know what I mean? Again, if you know, you know, hi Rack, how you doing? So like, just so many great matches and memories. I can't say one is more important than the other, but if I had to like say, well, this one I'm gonna put that special place has to be when I wrestled Gregory Iron, who, in case people are aware of who that is, I am one of two recognized professional wrestlers with cerebral palsy. He's the other one, and he was before me. So I give him all the credit in the world because when I was 13 years old, I had all these doubts in my head, like I have cerebral palsy, I can't be a pro wrestler, I can't do this. And we went to a independent event, and he was in, I believe, the first match. And when I saw him, I was like, okay, no excuse, he's doing it, and he's worse off than I am because his affects his right hand severely. Um, but dude is strong as an ox, and he's a smart dude, very kind, very giving, and just had no problem coming in and fulfilling like a dream match for me. And I don't know how it meant to him. Like for him, it might have just been another, Saturday. But for me,
Mhm.
it meant something because how many people can say I wrestled the person who inspired me to do this?
Not a lot of people get to say that, and I love how all of your goals have come true, and I love that for you, and I want that to continue for you. The issue that a lot of people have when it comes to chasing their dreams from what I've seen is they set their goals to being like, "I wanna be as successful as this person. I wanna do this, that,
Yeah,
or the other."
yeah.
Instead of finding your own success. You don't have to be this hugely popular thing, or you don't even have to be the next thing, be you, and that's what you're doing.
So let me explain it like this because it was a being that I have cerebral palsy. Growing up, I
Mhm.
had to always recognize there's a ceiling to what I can do and where I can get. I recommend, but nowhere does it say that I can't be satisfied with what I'm doing. for example,
Exactly.
because of my condition, I know there's 0 way any major promotion where you can make a living doing this would ever look at because I have brain damage. It
Mhm,
it you know what I mean? It's not though you've seen me perform, I perform just fine. You know what I mean? I'm at no bigger risk than anybody else, but because I have an underlying condition, nobody's gonna put my name to paper like that because now they're
mhm,
liable. So I
mm,
completely understand. But so I had to take a hard look at myself and go, am I doing this to get rich and famous? No. I could care less about being rich or famous at all. So then I go, well, why am I doing it? Well, I enjoy performing. I enjoy um, getting the reactions. I enjoy getting out of the house. I enjoy being around like-minded people who enjoy the same things that I do. I get to live out my childhood dream. Just because on the belt doesn't say WWE doesn't mean that that tag title, m- master championship, any title that I've won, that's still a professional wrestling championship. People said
mhm.
I'd never get there, and I did it more than once, multiple times. You've seen my record, obviously. Um,
You The thing is what to add to what you're saying, not to take away from, success does not define what is in your bank account. It's whether or not you're doing what you want to do. You can struggle and still be successful.
and
Uh,
I just hope that through what I do, I keep people inspired, they keep going. And again, I just feel blessed and grateful that I get to do what I do. And I hope that I have many, many more years of doing it. You know what I mean?
you do. You have I'd say
Yeah,
you
I'm
have
healthy.
at least I
Yeah.
mean, so some wrestlers wrestle well into almost their 80s, like, we just had a death match
Yeah.
with Maury Funk. So, like, I think you're fine,
That was
bro. I
like
think
6 months ago, but okay.
for me, it was recent. Anything that's, like, in the last year, to me to me is recent because I don't know, I don't like looking at TV too much anymore.
I even struggle to keep up with the abundance of wrestling out there. Because they're so but
I have other interests, that's my
oh
problem.
yeah,
There's just
like like I have to still go over things with my schedule, but I had someone asking me about a stand-up gig if I was interested, and of course I'm always interested in whether I'm available. That's a whole different thing, but you know what I mean. So I do
so
have
with
outside interests as well.
With stand-up comedy, when was the last show? Was that the one we did together,
Last
or
last time we saw each other, yeah.
I believe that might have been that wasn't my last show, but my last show wasn't far after that. I was going to open mic nights, and the events that I was going to was on Thursdays, so I made sure my day off was Thursday, but something happened. It's not their fault, it's not my fault, it just happens. They had to change to Fridays, and they weren't advertising as much. They were just having them after main shows.
Yeah.
So I just couldn't make it, so I kind of fell back, and I haven't really been writing anything, but I'm more than down to
See,
discuss the craziness going on in the world.
I would be I'd be so down to do stand up because see we have different processes obviously. Because with me, I don't write things down. I kind of do cliff notes where it's like remember this story, hit the bullet point, and just kind of let it go. Like I don't write down and practice how I'm gonna say it, whatever. And again, different strokes, different folks, each have their own style. Uh,
Well, it's I say that I write, but what the way that I write, quote unquote, is similar to your style, but slightly different. I'll write down like main point that I want to talk about and how I want to deliver the punchline and how I kind of want the story to go. But I have various things that I want to do, and then when I go on stage, I pick from each one. I'll do the topic I want to talk about, and if that's not doing too well, I'll end it with the punchline and then move on to the next thing until something clicks or a topic is goes well. And so far, that's been a delivery that works.
See, I'm such a Joker fan, as you can see from my arm, that I have
Yeah,
to be a crappy comedian.
you do a good job.
Uh,
We all have. We have
Thank you.
all have our we all have our own ways of, delivering our art. Hell, I've had people say bad things about my comedy, my blogging, whatever art I'm doing, and at the end of the day, their opinion is just their projection of their own character. It doesn't matter to me. I'm doing what I wanna do, and if they don't like it, oh well. If
I I am in a similar boat. If someone looks at me and tells me, "Well, you suck," I'm like, "Well, then why'd you buy
well,
it?"
my
But
response lately
point
is how would you make it better? If you have no answer to that, then you're just a
now,
critic.
again, let's also anybody who wants to talk crap about me being like, "I shouldn't do this because I can't do a 450 or a 75/30 or a hut, whatever freak off the top rope." People need to understand something. Staying easy, no matter who you are. And if you think that I don't belong in doing what to talk to the people up to it, then try to tell me that I don't know what I'm doing or that I'm not this or I'm not. I have receipts that prove I am legitimate, that I know what I'm doing, that I've been involved in it for so, and I still get people telling me, "Well, he sucks. He's this." And again, if you guys suck, by all means, you know what I mean? That's your opinion. Doesn't make you right.
Well, it's weird to me because I'm all for constructive criticism. Whether or not I follow it's one thing, but at least you're trying to give advice. But when people are like, "This didn't work," when clearly I saw in the crowd it worked. Like, it didn't work for you, but it
So, like,
worked for some people.
yeah, yeah. Like, I've had people, like, I've seen I don't try to go through hate mail or anything. There was a point even recently I had to be off Facebook for like a week and a half. Just such negativity everywhere. When it don't gotta be like that. Everybody chooses sides and fight with everybody. It don't gotta be that. We can all get along. We all have to work together. We all run in the same circles. We all have the same passion. Why are we at each other's throats?
I've never
I
under
I
I
like,
never understood the mentality of pick a side because you have an issue with this person. I don't. That's your guys' thing. Why
right.
can't I be friends with 2 people who do not get along? It's not like we're hanging out.
Well, my call take again, this is old mentalities of territories and, we're gonna take your fans and like, it doesn't have to be like that. It's the areas where I'm from, it's big enough for everybody there. I've seen shows run where more than one show has been sellout. Do you know why? Because more than 12 people live in the area.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We don't have to be at a throat. We don't have to throw each other to uplift ourselves, and that's everybody. And it's funny, you can't control what people say. You know what I mean? People are going to say what they're going to say, believe what they believe, and respect their right to believe or act that way, and that's perfectly fine. But to start finding a whole group of people in the hard work they put in, and the things they do, and all this other stuff, just because you're mad at something one, you know what I mean? I just don't feel that was necessary. And there was just all this time. And again, I'm not going into details because it's not necessary.
I
Just
also don't.
but
Sorry, dude.
sorry, I don't mean to keep stepping on you. The point I'm trying to make, and because this ain't just my area, this is all of wrestling. Anybody who thinks they gotta be gutting person, you're doing something wrong. Like that, I just don't see the point of gutting somebody who's trying just as hard as you are somewhere, just to make yourself get somewhere. I'm just not that kind of person.
I
I don't.
completely I completely agree because I see a lot of the times I saw it in most forms of entertainment that I've been a part of or
Oh,
writer
absolutely.
of, and, you see similar happen, the whole group mentality, like, if you're not
Especially live performances.
yeah, I've seen a lot of, like, group mentality where, like, you either support us or them kind of mindset. And the thing is no, like the thing is not everyone's going to like that. And also, it's sad when people don't realize that they're doing it. Like, no, I don't understand that. Because there's two sides to every story. And if you make people pick sides, you're telling everyone that you only want your side heard. And
Yeah, but again, that's not going into details. I'm not picking sides. I'm not saying who was right, who was wrong. I'm saying it's fight me.
that that's
Me?
what I
No,
was that I was
no.
saying too, DA. I was saying that no matter what the situation, it's not cool to do that kind of thing, especially in the entertainment industry. We're all trying to make it.
Yeah. Peace to everybody. I love everybody. Unless I'm wrestling, then I hate you.
Until the
But then after the match, I can rock.
Yeah, what quote was that? I think it might have been when the Hardy Boys were feuding each other, where they said, I love you, but in the ring, I hate you," or some shit like that.
Something like that.
Uh,
God forbid, there's so much wrestling. But yeah, like, again, get back on course with the topic we were
of
thinking about.
course.
It being Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month. The month of March is Cerebral Palsy Awareness. And yeah, being a professional wrestler with cerebral palsy, I feel like I have like a special duty to kind of promote myself heavier this time of year. Um, Not because I'm trying to like get attention for having it, but I'm trying to like of what I deal with, and I'm hoping
Dude, you do inspire people, you just don't see it. And
most of us never do.
no, we don't, and that is very unfortunate. But keep doing what you're doing because it is very inspirational. That's actually why I do what I do, because though I don't suffer, at least at this current stage of my life I'm aware of, I don't suffer from any physical ailments other than occasional.
Maybe some mental.
Well, that's what I was gonna get to. I don't suffer from much physical stuff other than I have, the occasional aches and pains and the pains in my chest and stuff due to aging and past injuries. But I do have my mental struggles, and I am very trying to be more and more open about my own struggles, how I deal with it and stuff for the same purpose of you,
Yeah,
not to get sympathy. I wanna reach someone and let them know that it's okay.
bring a little awareness.
Yes, and that's the thing. People don't talk about their problems, at least most people don't talk about their issues for sympathy. They do it to spread awareness and reach people that also have that same problem or a similar
Yeah.
ailment. It's about reaching people. And do you find yourself as your career gets longer and longer that you have more and more issues with the cerebral palsy, or is it pretty much the same as when you started?
See, that's really hard to say because, well, I'll give you an even just last woke up and see my whole right side currently. If you were to just touch me, I'd feel like um and that was just from taking the garbage out the other day and doing a little bit of work around the house and then going for a walk down to the local convenience store with my missus. Not like to you, normal shit. Nothing that would hurt you the next. With me, I shot.
Damn, dude.
It hurt. Like just even sitting here right now, I've been tossing and turning because I can't get comfortable. I'm just feeling severe pain running up my back. Um, with my condition, what it does is from my all the my neck, the muscles feel like they're contracting constantly. It's because the part of my brain that is supposed to regulate up
I'm sorry
down.
if you hear a dog barking in the background. My parents had just left. So with that, it's very interesting to me that you can walk away from a wrestling match and have another one like a week later, but taking out the trash and no, I'm just is what takes you down. Like your worst enemy is
Well, I can't tell you how many times I've come backstage from doing a match, and people look at me and they're like, "You okay?" 'Cause I'm shaking. I'm hurting really bad. Just every muscle in my body's like, "What did you just?" And I'll be feeling it for a few days afterwards. Usually, I'll have like my ride has heated seats, so sometimes if I'm really having an issue that on. Um, little of this. I apologize. I have very dry mouth right
You're
now.
good.
And again, not to turn this into a PSA or whatever, but I will say that that cannabis is one of the few things that has medically been able to help me in any because I have been bedridden to the point where I can barely and now I find myself being able to pull myself together, like most part, a little better. I deal with pain a lot more easier, you know what I mean? And again, nothing's a fix all. Still gonna have my ache, still gonna have my pain, still gonna hurt. But to say that I don't do anything for this is just ridiculous.
Have you looked into? I know it's not legal yet in most states, but there are clinical trials going on right now. But have you looked into the benefits of psilocybin with your condition? Psilocybin is the chemical compound that is found in what they call magic mushrooms. It's found in other plant matter, but it it does cause psychedelic effects. However, if it is microdosed, it has been shown in some trials to not only eliminate and help with anxiety and depression, but it also helps with physical pains as well because the way it reacts with the brain. I'm not exactly sure how it manages pain, but I know it shuts off the part of the brain that processes trauma, and it turns on the parts of the brain that allows you to think more critically towards your thoughts.
And again, I am not against scientific evidence for certain things. You know what I mean? Um, not against being open minded like that, but I would have to see a lot of evidence that it would help.
Mhm.
For example, before I started partaking in meth, I was shown a lot of videos of people with my condition who take CBD oil, who take THC pain pills and stuff like that to help him. So it was through that kind of research that I realized doing this. Um, Anybody who knows me, I'm not a big drinker. I don't partake in partying or anything like that. Unless I find a benefit of something, I don't partake in it. So like when I know for that that's all I'm gonna say about it. I'm not trying to be like, oh, bro, legalize. Try out.
Well
Again, I'm sure people have questions about.
well, at the end of the day, nature I'm not just a cannabis advocate, but I'm an advocate for nature. Nature should never be illegal. I don't care what it does to the human body. Nature should never be illegal. A human being has the
and
autonomy to do what they want with their own body.
and again, I know a lot of people will be surprised to hear this if they know who you are.
Yeah.
My friend, I'm a Christian who reads the Bible. He's a Satanist who believes that organized religion is bullshit.
Hey, I'm
Um,
gonna correct you. That's a common misconception. I'm not a Satanist. I'm actually, what they call a pagan, but I embrace
there you
when
go.
people call me a Satanist as an insult, I just don't feel the need to correct them.
I'm not insulting you, my friend.
No, I
I'm
know.
just
I know, I'm
from some of the things you shared on media.
I'm just
I took
I'm just, I'd rather speak on who I truly am, but if people wanna call me it, I will embrace it. I don't think religion's bullshit by any means. I think it has ac
no, 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 not religion. Religion, organized
Oh, yeah,
religion,
that
where you have a hierarchy where this guy in the church is more important than this guy at the
yeah.
bottom. Stuff like that is what I'm
Oh, I
talking
get
about.
it now.
And but even in the Bible, it does say in Genesis, all the fruit from the tree, and it is separate. It doesn't say that the tree grows from the seed. It says in the earth, fruit of the tree are.
You know what's ironic about the whole hierarchy thing, and then we get back into all that because you just channeled a thought. Isn't it weird that
Huh.
certain organized religious groups have a hierarchy, like you said, but they are supposedly worshiping a guy who is against hierarchy?
Like again, the only hierarchy that you're supposed to believe in is God above. That's what it says in the Bible. Love God above all things. He is the only hierarchy that we were supposed to recognize. So why is it that I'm supposed to feel like anybody's me in a group of people who are supposed to be
because it's easier to control a crowd of people when they're afraid
uh,
and they think they don't have any power.
exactly? And I'm just not one for it. I've seen places that seem to be very good, but then when it changes, all of a sudden you see people grabbing for what they want to have happen. And that's where I'm like, wait a minute. If we're all a collective and we're supposed to be a united front, we can't just be grabbing at things like that. That's not what
No.
it's what stopped me from going to church every Sunday.
Well, what people lose is the fact that we're supposed to care about fellow humans, even the less fortunate. And I see get
Well,
lost.
and again, I completely agree with you. And for anybody who wants to call me bullshit, you can read it in your own Bible. He said, "What do I need to do to follow the commandments?" Well, which are the greatest of the commandments? One, of God above anything else with your heart, body. Two, love your neighbor as you love. If you follow these two, are the great
Here's
because those two, the others.
as somebody who's an omnist, you told me to grab my Bible. I had to figure out which one you were referring to.
I'm not saying you specifically, brother. That's the messed up thing, guys. He's a pagan, and I guarantee.
I'm actually it's weird because my title is I'm big into nature, so I call myself a pagan, but my beliefs are more self spirit leaning. If
This whole thing turned into something we didn't expect it to.
that's perfectly fine.
That's what a conversation's supposed.
Especially when you script it. No, I'm more so an omnist where I believe psychologically, symbolically, metaphorically, or literally, however you want to interpret it, all religions are correct, but they're also all bullshit at the same time.
Um, again, I can kindly disagree with you on that, but just because, again, I am. I'm not. I don't even like using that title to be honest with you because of the BS that people have turned that in. Like, I'm sorry, I don't vote right. Agree with Christian nationalism. That's all evil, corrupt, and that's why even being tuned, it's like, not if that's what you're thinking of when you say Christian.
The whole forcing the religion onto other people is teachings of Paul, not teachings of Jesus. So they're following the teachings of a guy whom, and I don't know if too many people are familiar with who Paul is. Paul was a supposedly an apostle of Jesus, but he never met him in his lifetime. He just said that Jesus came to him in a vision. So he's just as right as Joseph Smith. That the
Oh, if I'm not mistaken, because I've been again, I'm not 100%. I can't be like, oh, well, if this is the truth like that. But I believe it was actually the Paul at first,
Mhm.
and then converted to had everything, and that's why and he claimed visions of Christ and whatnot. So if I'm mistaken, please correct me because I'm not great with that quite yet. I've read the Bible at least twice, and I because of just how my brain works, I'm not great with just pulling information out of something. I mean,
So I'm going to read what I had found because I like to look up sources and all.
oh joy.
Paul, also known as Saul of Tarsus, was alive during the first century AD. He is believed to have converted to Christianity around 33 to 36 AD and had a vision of Jesus, which he considered a meeting, although he did not meet Jesus during his entire earthly life. Now, the Bible mostly follows the teachings of Paul in the New Testament, but that's no different than the Mormons following Joseph Smith.
Well, then following Joseph Smith, Paul did had enough of them where Joseph Smith was claiming to have divine flight and was speaking to angels. He's, I have nothing physically to show you, but
Well, I mean, that's the same thing with
Je- no, again, Joseph Smith claimed to have been gifted material, claimed to be guided by a spiritual force that goes
True.
through him quickly. This man claimed, who was, again, a rich man persecuted, had a vision of Jesus, and because of the vision, gave things. Lit himself fire. Did not do anything himself. He arrested for to put himself over. What Smith did. Well, now I can have multiple lives. Now I can do this. Now I can do that because God told me I can still do. Preach the gospel. He spread the word of Jesus around where he gained nothing. He lost everything, but he still proclaimed Jesus. So tell me, if a man who was trying to take and gain by claiming gifts, or a man who lost everything,
Hold on.
there is a huge difference.
Yeah, but the
Huge.
point I was making was is they both claim to have met Jesus.
Well, actually, he claimed to met an angel who was white, who was
We don't really know about Paul either, because I mean, all we know is word of mouth.
as a wise man once told me, there's a reason it's called faith. Whether you're right in it or wrong in it, whether you have to have faith in, right? So that's no one says faith has to be proven. No one says faith have evidence. No one, faith is I believe on my heart.
No, I agree. I'm just saying that if Joseph Smith existed,
And again, this whole podcast went away. I didn't put it
if
in.
Joseph Smith though existed in 40 AD, we'd have a different story. We'd have a very similar story to Paul. We wouldn't know.
But like I said, compare the two things and tell me not the same. One man benefited and tried to gain from what he was doing. Another man, he gained nothing. He lost everything. And that's the difference. Anyone who claims to be a prophet, what are they trying to do? They try, well, give me your money. Come live with me on this piece of property. Let's roll your life. That's not what Jesus told us to do. Jesus called us, give me a thing. Give it to your brother who needs it. Give it to your sister who needs it. Do good to each other, because doing good for strangers, who else called for that? No, there's not one cult leader, not one legislator, whoever called for that. There's a lot of spiritual inner, like you would say Buddhism, there's a lot about, but it doesn't focus a lot on generosity and really
One could
spreading.
one could argue though, because Buddhism is about helping others as well as finding your inner self. So it's very similar to what Jesus was supposedly
Oh,
teaching at that time.
I again, and this is me not bashing any faith, religion. If you find comfort in Eve, keep rocking on. You know what I mean? This is just us having
Conversation.
conversation. It's not me trying to call out anybody or say you're wrong, I'm right. That
Yeah.
please.
I will play the devil's advocate in saying we are all right and we are all wrong. There's truth in everything in life, and there's falsehoods in everything in life. We don't know.
Absolutely. And again, that's why I say, you know what I mean? We have faith in our, when someone says I have faith, what do they claim to have faith in? You have faith over me, you have faith. What you're saying is I have no evidence that this is right, but I'm gonna believe with all my heart and soul that it is. That's what faith is. You have,
I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at you saying the faith part. I was laughing that your example was faith in government. I don't think anybody in their right mind.
not currently, but we've all known people, right?
I know people. It's just I don't think I've ever had faith in a government body in my entire life.
And by the way, can I just point out to everybody watching this? We just had a Christian and a pagan discussing religious beliefs, and we ended the same result. Be nice to each other, love each other, and support each other. It's not that hard.
Well, I think the issue is, and I don't mean this in an insulting way. I think you'll understand what I mean when I say this. I think we all believe in our own bullshit too much that we want to attack others for their own beliefs when none of us know.
Oh, you can't be right. You can't be right. I have to be right.
Like, we are apes with
That's what
we are apes with a more developed brain. That's all we are. We don't know either.
right. And we're sitting around arguing, well, who made our brain? well, okay, yeah, while we're arguing about that, we could be like making life here a lot easier for everybody. Why do us fighting over what to, to my personal belief? And again, I guess I am a Christian. That is my personal belief. Jesus, all that jazz. If you've heard it once, you've heard it a million times from everybody. So I'm not going to bore you. But at the end of the day, what that book calls us to do is be kind to each other, love each other, support each other, treat each other as you would want to be treated. So if faith, if that's all it's asking for, then how come we don't? But you'll hear people say, "Well, I read the Bible. I'm a believer." Okay, but when's the last time to anybody? When's the last time you thought of somebody without them?
See, this is the point I was getting to. Was a lot of Christians, modern Christians, follow the teachings of Paul in this regard. Paul was out to convert people. He did every means necessary to convert people. That's not what Jesus wanted. He didn't want converted. He wanted people to love one another.
Well, what Jesus called for was if a man has you can hear.
Yeah.
If you are rejected by him, your shoes, keep moving. He does not say, then take them by the neck, force them into a bucket, and say, you either believe or we kill
But
you. He doesn't
the
say
thing
that.
is, those people get wrong is he wasn't pushing a religion though. He was pushing the
No, he
message of
wasn't.
love. He was actually very much
And
against organized religion.
oh, also, if anybody was like, oh God, I can't believe Jesus was Jewish. He practiced Jewish practices. He practiced Passover. He practiced fasting and prayer. He was Jewish. So anybody got a problem with Jewish people, you got a problem with
His
Jesus.
name also wasn't
Mm,
Jesus. Sorry to break that
no,
to you.
that's the translation.
Um,
From
Now it's interesting to state his name more than likely would have been Yeshua,
yeah,
which is close to
yeah.
Josh. So I don't know why we don't have like the Lord and Savior Josh up on the walls. And
Well, again, you also have to remember these ancient names back then.
yeah,
So like Hosanna, you hear Hosanna. It means
yeah. There's actually a lot of
like
words that have been lost in translation too. That's like I always try to tell people and they tell me I'm wrong and I'm like, "Well, I mean, both of us could be wrong." But the word demon, for instance, means different things to different cultures. It actually originated in Greece. It was diamond, which was actually a guardian spirit or a divine power. All of their gods were considered diamonds. And all of their
so.
spirits and shit was considered to
But
be almonds.
the way I look at it is, no matter which way word you use to this thing, or what word you use to label something, what they're talking about X, Y, Z,
Yeah,
whatever name it wants to go under, you know what I mean?
yeah.
So I'm not. So when I'm hearing, well, he casted out demons, that means he casted out evil spirits or some kind. Just because we label them as demons now doesn't mean that's what they were called then, et cetera, et cetera. I understand these things. People get too like what's written right here
Well
in English, so it's got to be recognized from English. It's like no, it can be recognized for what it was. That just comes
well,
out.
knowing the definition now, what it was back then, they're basically saying he casted out all foreign spirits, all spirits of the foreign lands, all the gods of the foreign lands. That's how I interpreted
Well,
it.
again, I'm more of a not that there isn't things there to be interpreted, but there's also things I feel that are very blurred. And when it says evil spirits, it's talking about the demonic. And here's the thing, agree completely on this. In this world, they're saying we cannot see the good and evil. Right.
Well,
There's
I
no.
don't believe in the concept of good and evil. I believe individual deeds can be interpreted as evil or good. However, in every evil action, there is some good things that counteract and come out of it. Life is just chaos, in my opinion. It just is.
See, that's what I find because in the Bible, and again, first person, I'm just talking with my friend here. If you're
Well,
listening,
here's the
hi.
thing, a little PSA. You're talking in terms that you understand, and I totally understand that. Um,
Right. So, um, yes, chaos, and and in the Bible, when asked, "Well, I'm a good person," he goes, "None of us are good but God." Point being, what he means by that, and I see it and understand that if there were no laws, if there were no rules, if there was no structure of any kind, people would eat each other.
Oh, yeah.
The reason we don't is because there's punishment for one thing. It's because of that when Christians tell people, good people, oh well, you're not. They don't mean you're not trying to be a good person or do good things in the world. They're trying to be a good example. It is. They're saying it. Our instincts make us naturally want evil things, and no matter how much we try to overcome, it happens to all of us. And how we stop those things, we put ourselves into laws, things that prevent us from taking those evil desires.
Yeah, but my
And that's all they try to say is like instinctively animals they don't think of charity. They think of greed and take and what I need over what they need, and we are told to be above that.
uh,
You see what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but that's not always true of all species of animals because, though they are selfish in many ways, we are too. Um,
Exactly. That's
but
what I meant.
but we use laws, religion, whatever, to demonize things that I wouldn't personally deem as necessarily evil.
Oh, and and that is where corruption comes in because we've given power to people, and what it do, it corrupts. It doesn't matter who you are, how good you think you are, what good you're trying to do. Anyone given absolute power, it corrupts absolutely. And then we end up in situations that we were discussing, as we've discussed with this and other things that are only being enforced because somebody made a deal with somebody who made a deal with somebody to keep things a certain way.
Yeah,
It's not fitting.
and
So it's not. It has everything to do with that. Like I get over.
mhm.
It's that I. It's that thought that keeps.
And what I don't get is I believe if somebody wants to pass a law or whatever and their reasoning for it, their logical reasoning has to do with what religion they belong to, they should be ignored. Not because I don't respect the religion.
I
I
agree.
respect everyone's religion and you cannot make laws based on one because which one are you going to follow?
Yeah.
Because each religion has
Yeah.
their own subsect and each individual human being, in my opinion, has their own interpretation of what that religion is. So how are you going to dictate an entire nation based on one person's interpretation?
Well, like for your exam, to increase an example. Again, I but the only church I go to is the City Reach Church on show days. Mon Valley Pro Wrestling, March 14th. Uh, at the City Reach Church, 16106 Full Avenue, Jolly Roy. Show starts at 6 p.m. It's going to be a great show. A lot of hard hitting pro wrestling action. Now, back to what I was saying. Chief plug. Uh,
You're good at that.
back. Thank you. Uh, like I don't do a lot of what people would think someone like me does. I don't go to church every Sunday. I don't really consider myself part of a church group or community. All I try to do is read my Bible. I try to practice what I believe the Bible tells me is what I'm supposed to do. And I know in my heart and in my soul, and I just want to do more right in this world. And at the end of the
Yeah. That's where it goes back to what I was saying is we all are telling similar stories, and, that's why I believe every religion has their own truth and their own fiction, because they all teach very similar stories in their own unique ways according to region or their upbringing. So that's why I find it funny because you can tell most Hindus, not all, but most Hindus, there's only one God, and they would agree with you because their interpretation is that every god that exists is the same exact god that has multiple faces that talks to different cultures.
I think Michael Landon said it best on Little Harry. They might not pray to God the way we do.
And I believe that
And
God is our name that we give the mysteries of the universe. Our own consciousness could be considered a god or an external being in our own opinion, but at the end of the day, we're just giving a face for the mystery of the universe. I believe it was the AC/DC's manager that said that and I'm just paraphrasing, that God is the title we give to put the blanket over the mystery of the universe, and that's how I see it.
Like, and like, I just love the fact that we can sit here and have the conversation without it being, I'm going to now come over and burn that. Like, we're like,
I don't do well with burning crosses, I'm sorry. Um,
that's not what I meant. That is,
I think we're
he said, all right, let me make that perfectly clear, everybody. He said that, not me. I did not mean anything like that. February, it's just because February ain't no more, Melvin, you can,
brother,
no, but,
I have to at least let my intrusive thoughts win at least once a day. Can't let them stay in there forever.
like, damn, it's been too long since I've gotten to talk, but, like, this whole thing started over, us talking about it, and maybe, like, and I just say thank you for letting me on here to, plug on Valley Pro Wrestling Leader Ball. It's the ball on March 14th at the City Reach Church, uh, 1006 Ballfield Avenue, Pennsylvania. 6 o'clock bell time. Doors open at 5. Gonna be great. And hey guys, I have my new main effing man t-shirt for sale. I'm gonna have red and black sheet society shirt. So I'm hoping somebody comes in, come say hi to me, tell me you watched the podcast or anything like that, pick up a shirt. It just be great to see anybody if you
I appreciate you coming on because I really do enjoy chatting with you, and we should do this again a little sooner than
absolutely.
last time. But I'm going to let you go because we're reaching the hour point. Not that I want to stop talking, we can talk for hours. It's just,
Uh, According to me, we have been
yeah, but close. I was. This man is, he almost did it to the second. But I appreciate you, brother. And as always, guys, remember, stay on
love
and
you.
let's break societal norms. Love you all. Live long, rock hard.